since 2017, pride himself as a self-acclaimed president of the ADF forces, and of course, the tide did not turn to his favor this time around, and as he has been remanded by the Norwegian government. And we also see other diaspora governments that have vouched their support to Biya's regime, telling them that they are going to be working hand in hand with Cameroon government in making sure that they figure out the sponsors of the ADF and making sure that they work hand in hand in making or seeing the end of the Anglophone crisis. Ladies and gentlemen, to join me on this talking point tonight is no other person than Dr. Christian Bear, who is a political analyst, and he is a marriage counselor, but tonight he is bringing the regalia of a political analyst, and we expect to be having quite a lot from him because he has a quite deepening understanding of the crisis that has been hitting for unarguably 8 years now. Doctor, you're welcome.
Thank you very much for inviting me. I'm so delighted. And we have a very important topic that is in front of us to dissect it and to make sure that we give our own thought and ideas on how we believe and we see the crisis and how it's unfolding. And believing God for more, transparency, and way forward to see that there come a resolution for the crisis that we have been rocking the country for more than since 2016. And we still believe God that with the deep knowledge we have and with other information that or other knowledge that we have as concerned Africa, we believe that we will stand in a better position to see how we can help to give knowledge and educate people based on what we know and how we understand about the crisis.
Thank you so much, Doctor. Of course, we can hardly touch on this topic without going back or putting our hands in deck and getting to zoom into, time on how this Anglophone crisis started. But now, this is a case of Mr. Ayabacho Lucas, who has prided himself over the years as a president of the ADF Council, that is the Amazonian Defense Force Council. And we understand, it is no news that he holds the Norwegian citizenship. So was it really a smooth sail, or does Cameroon have a soft landing in this case? Cognizant that this is a Norwegian citizen and he has debunked and Cameroon does not see versatility in dual citizenship. Now, how is this going to go?
Yes, maybe it's a very complicated issue, and that some people who are at the side of the government, they are celebrating while others are still onlookers are watching. But if you look at the crisis from the day of from history, we take a memory lane down history from 1961 and from the Fumban Conference and other things, you realize that what the country is facing is history on the making, which the country itself had to understand that it's about history, it's about understanding, we learn on how we come together and how we understand ourselves together and how we accept to move together in a particular direction. And when it is just like, for example, you got married to a wife, to a woman, and you put her in the house and it is not going. And instead of you thinking that you can come to dialogue, you feel that you can use a forceful means, it wouldn't work. Or you have a child who is, not getting you sleep, maybe, and you are, instead of to try to impact the child poo in his diapers, pee in his diaper, and the child is crying. And you understand that for me to move this poo and this detail will make this child not to cry. I will cry down and give you a good sleep, right? But you prefer to be hitting that child, they're not so important because the poo is still there, the pee is still there, the child is still uncomfortable, and the child is still crying. So you are also adding more insult, more pain on that child. So the child will keep on crying. So it is important that we should look at it in that direction, that in this junction, we cannot say that what happened in Norway, it is a red light or green light to the Cameroon government. Instead, it is an opportunity for the separatist fighter Ayabacho to lay down his claim why he or she have been held as a separatist fighter. Because you have to know that Ayabacho have a German citizen, not even a Norwegian citizen. You have a German citizen and he is married to a Norwegian. It's a whole conflicting issue. and Cameroon does not also accept dual this. So
Citizenship.
all those people are drinking champagne and making noise. It doesn't go lame because we are not. Ayabacho is not in Cameroon, and they cannot. What's up? I don't think that they should repatriate. No, Cameroon don't have a repatriating or policy with countries. I don't know. So all those one are just noise making. People don't understand international policy. They have to come to understand what international policy is all about. If they don't have that repatriated or policy, then it will not even work. It means that Ayabacho need to start an international court and give his claim. I know that international court we are talking about, IIC is being involved, part of UN is being involved, and other international bodies are being involved. So it will ever further expose the government. So the government don't understand what it's doing because further expose the government. So what? Because normal, if you want I'm a thief, I have to give my claim. When I steal, say never, I came and stole because I've been crying for hungry and you are not giving me food. And since I saw that you have cooked a good egg and you are not around, I thought that I should take my own part, or we work together and you decide to eat alone. So I'm fighting because we work together and we're supposed to eat this food together, but now you're eating alone. So now that's why I'm fighting. And I know that all those whatever they call claim on Ayabacho is go to that record. It will be a whole record, it will be a whole booklet for other people to come and read and to send it maybe to international committee, to IIC, or to the United Nations. So we should know those things and do champagne and those people we are in Cameroon government. But we should look at it is critical that we are African, Mabel, and we have to stand and solve the African problem critically from a good heart. Because those who are clamoring out there in the diaspora are even more ashamed of the diaspora, because if you look at the critical situation where we are facing ourselves in Cameroon, bad roads, bad infrastructure, these are the people that they were struggling to hit the hand on the government to tell the government that even though we have this crisis, but we want you to focus on, because we see other countries moving forward, we see other countries, go to Burkina Faso. I just follow, the latest the speech that the Traoré gave through his Minister of Affairs to the United Nations. It was so wonderful, and he made a statement that he have put down his life to make sure that Burkina Faso survive. Those are leadership skills. Those are leadership qualities that we did for people. And once you are a leader, you don't have that leadership quality to lay down your life for the people. It means you are not a leader. Because we want to see in Cameroon leaders that they can lay down their life, not investing on money, putting chunk of money that will, even when they die, it will remain in European countries, and they're using them for other countries, keeping our umbrella to take flight overnight to go and eat the money that they themselves have stolen from our own country. But we want to see leaders that they are tirelessly decided that they want to lay down their life for this country. They want to lay down their life to make sure that if we have a problem, let's sit down and talk. Because no matter what we do, maybe if you have a conflict with you, no matter how we solve, if we agree that we are legally bound, no matter how we say, we must sit down and talk. So there's no need moving around, bringing a lot of more evidence that will bring you to shame. But instead, for a wise person, is that let us sit down in this country and we talk this problem and see a way forward. And even if it does not suit us, we should accept some realities and see how we can work together as Africa, as Cameroonians one, and Africa as two. Because if we don't look at that level, it will be a level whereby it will be sad for us, to look one on the face and say, "Oh, you are my friend, you are my brother, you are my sister." Which we don't want to go to that level. So we want that the government to sit down. We should not be Ayabacho have done the Ayabacho. It's not like Ayabacho. I can remember when they caught Sissoko in the Naira district in Nigeria, many people were glad to do that all teams finished, because it was a team that they were sitting for this what we call the Southern Cameroon issue. But now when they caught them, they don't know how everything is finished, but it's not finished. You see, look what's happening in Israel. Israel have killed the Hamas leader, killed the assistant, killed Hezbollah, but the fight is still going on. It will not solve because people are still resilient to make sure that they do what they are doing. You see what is happening in Ukraine. Many people are being killed. They are sacking people from position and putting other people. Fighting is still going on. So we should learn from international structure, for international policies, for international relations, to see that killing leaders will not solve the problem, but sitting down with leaders, and ironing things out and bringing a way forward, and maybe will be a better way for us to see a way forward out from this crisis.
Now, during the Grand National Dialogue, there was an invitation to bring all of this different council presidents and leadership on the table, on the common table, so that they could chat the way out. But we all know how that went. But before we get into the Grand National Dialogue, which so many have painted to be just a window dressing or a facade and a charade, you have mentioned that all the attempts to bring or repatriate some of these perpetrators and some of the president of the Defense Council. It is, since Cameroon does not have the repatriating system, it is going to be absolutely impossible. Now, are you saying that this is in any way going to be a pipe dream if Cameroon doesn't believe in the repatriation system, or they don't have a refined system through which they can repatriate some of these Amazonian authorities back home so that they can face the annals of the law? So are you going to say that any Tom, Dick, and Harry who has always connected to this crisis in the NOSO in one way or the other can just go, scot-free?
Yeah, well, maybe it's not that anybody who is connected to the crisis will just go scot-free.
Who is international?
Yeah, who is international. But you have to understand that most of the guys that are international, they have nationality on another country, and they are not like Cameroon where anything can be happen. No, they are country. For example, if you are an American citizen, America have the right to, to judge you in that soil and to pass the verdict and to see if it's basically, so they have to work in connection with the American authority. Except the only country that I feel that such a thing can happen and anything can happen on the ground is France. But in the other countries, they have their laws, they have their policies. First of all, that Cameroon, first of all, have accused the Norwegian government of working together with Abebacho, and sometimes this one is not a way to show or to make or to bring into limelight more of the argument that have been hidden behind. That it may be the government, that the government itself have sent, we talk about the Canadian talks, whereby the government sent a delegation there at her head, and then when they went there, the talk was on their favor, they have to boycott the talks. You understand? We don't know beyond the children. We must be matured, because we are talking about a nation here. We are not talking about an individual, we are not talking about a family, we are talking about a nation. So we must be mature to make sure that we come to a position, because if you look at, first of all, if you look at this 1st October that just passed, I think it was just yesterday, you look at the picture, go to internet, you see separatists with their Ganjalians elsewhere marching, doing all things. You understand? And we look at it like we are laughing. It's like it's a child's play. Government will show his power and say that, we are dealing with separatists, just as half of them will deal with them. Let me tell you, these separatist guys, they are having their plans. If you want to look at it critically from what is happening, it's like they're planning somehow to start to make what we call safe zones, whereby they can carry the activities, maybe put their leaders there to control the safe zones, and then start to, to push to come forward until when they have had a normal level of land, when the government start to notice it's serious. See what happened in Ajabato, where the SGO was kidnapped by the same separatist fighters. So where is it? What will happen with the families? The families of those children, what are that SGO? How are they feeling? What are they taught? Many of them have happened like that. We know many of them happen like that. Don't happen in Jan, don't happen in Batibo and the rest. What is the government saying? Is the government cares about their family? Does it care about their relatives? Does it care about those who connect with them?
No, but you cannot unarguably say that the government does not care if the government has started out on investigation. We know investigation.
But when you say the government cares,
and the media is blowing it. That is a government.
Yes, when you say the government cares, putting on media and whatsoever, and what we are saying here, it does not go to solve the trauma that the family is going through. Does not go to solve the lack of food, water to drink for the family. That's what we are saying here. Our government. People may go to the media and say what they want to say, but the reality is that the family who depend on him are already suffering now. They're already suffering, and I don't see no government official that will say that we're going to go and tell the family to take care of them now. So you don't even know the condition.
Okay, so are you saying that government should negotiate with separatists?
You call it separatists, you call it armed fighter, you call it freedom fighter. They have to. Maybe it is international. See what's happened in Israel. The Assad man of Hezbollah. Even before Israel killed a man like that, they've agreed to ceasefire and talks. You got the point. You see, war is going in Ukraine. Ukraine, they are talking about possible talks. War is going to start. They are talking about possible talks. So they are calling the Cameroon government separatists or a terrorist. Cameroon government is calling them terrorists. So number one is calling terrorists. Israel is calling Hamas terrorists. Hamas is calling Israel terrorists. You got the point now. Ukraine is calling Russia a terrorist nation. Russia is calling Ukraine. So that's the language that we always hear on media. We all hear people saying. But then, what is the reality on ground? That's what really matters. Because no matter who you call terrorists, no matter who you call whosoever, the point is that you have to talk. So if Cameroon feel that it can be indifferent, it cannot be different, because other nations, they have Hamas is going on, Hezbollah is going on, ISIS are going on. America not sitting on the table with ISIS, people they call terrorists are talking with. They are. And then how more Cameroon are we talking about here? So we cannot be indifferent. So the only way forward is for us to sit to talk. We should sit down and talk and not be biased. So frankly talk talk with somebody, finally accept the reality, finally look at your brother and say that, okay, it's true. Maybe you have hurt me. You hurt me very badly, and I accept that you hurt me. And I believe that we want to apologize for that hurt and then move forward. I believe it's very important. Because if we don't, for example, you see many countries like in Nigeria, other Sahel regions, they're having separatists, they're having, insurgents. You got the point.
We understand that the talking process and the negotiation process would not come early or easy, and we cannot also turn a blind eye to the fact that there was a grand national dialogue. I'll still fall back on that table where the government gave in an entrance for the separatist fighters, but they backed down in their usual style. And we had a few on the ground, like Kawa Yannick, who was there, on behalf of the separatists for the reconciliation meeting. But it could not have been completed since a greater proportion and their leaders were out of the dialogue process. But then again, let us go back to the Ayabacho situation before we talk extensively about the Grand National Dialogue. We are hearing or having news that he is rejecting all the claims from the Norwegian government as to connecting or having visible connections with the Anglophone crisis.
Yes.
And do we see his footprints, even at this point? Do we see his footprints?
Maybe.
Unarguably.
The truth is that, somebody can do something and call your name. Somebody can do something and call my name. That I am the one who have instigated that they should do this, they should do that, they should do that. Sometimes my words can make me, let me give an example like Trump. You see, sometimes Trump used to make some words and then people like to hold him on his word, right? Like what happened in the rioting of American Capitol Hill. They are holding him down, he's the one instigated. Sometimes it's on that claim, then they might be right on one point, but he still have a defense. But the truth is just that no matter what happens, whether he is doing it directly or indirectly, there must be visible and there must be visible evidence to show that truly he is totally or he is involved or he is the masterminder behind everything is happening. They might be there sponsoring, and you cannot have, for example, you say they are giving money. You must show all bank transactions they are doing. You must show who is taking the money. You must show all what they are doing with the money. You must get communication links from there and the people on the ground. You must, all those things are very important. It's a complicated case. It's not something that we look at it or the government and look at it and say that, oh, we have won this. Okay. No, it's a complicated case, very complicated. Because when we talk about law, we talk about evidence, we talk about facts, we talk about evidence, we talk about the proof. To show, it's not that you come and say that somebody have done this and then in law they'll just say that no, it's true. No, you have to show some proof. The Cameroon government have all those valuable proof on their hands.
No, but we have had cases where the said Ayabacho allegedly took to his social media handles and writing. We have had a former communique from him telling the boys on ground to refrain from certain actions or to commit into certain actions. I mean, the facts are there.
And maybe we are not refusing, even if the facts are there. When we talk about two persons who are fighting and somebody said, I want to hold this person on claims, we have to look at it at the level of the government. Because we know that even in any war countries that you have war that's going on, what we call propaganda of war, where somebody can do something and say that this person does it, this person have done it, they can hijack person, they can, like what happened in Europe, they can hijack your Facebook account, they can hijack something and say that this person have seen this. We have seen all those things that happen on the field. We know all those things that happen internationally. The guy that is even in front of the Cameroon government issue of the law in Salai, Barrister Salai. I know him. I know the family very well because I know his junior sister Salai Elizabeth. He was my close friend, so I know her very well. So when we are talking about using people for a particular cause, there are things that you are doing today. Be very careful that thing might turn back to you tomorrow, because whatever they are doing, maybe Cameroon now in this stage they are losing finances. All money have been turned to military and insecurity, which is not helping the country. Why you see Burkina Faso, I just saw them in this thing, they are making Air Burkina Faso. They are showing the railway, they are showing infrastructure, they are moving. So that country have suffered for war. And there's a time that you have to sit down and talk. You have to sit down and say, okay, this is the way that thing that we are fighting, how can we do? The problem we have is that most of the Anglophone elites, most of those who are in government, even though they are not in front of the camera to tell that we support the government, we don't support the government. They don't support what the government is doing. But so they are compared. They are like fall in that trap of greed. Mm-hmm. Yes, greed and self-centeredness. They are codependency. They are narcissists, and they are the persistent for killing the Anglophones. Let me put it that way: killing the Anglophone. And it is very bad to see some of them behaving that way. But the one thing I'm just trying to say is that whatever you do today is karma. It will meet you tomorrow. But because if we want this crisis to stop, maybe we should frankly sit down and discuss and put this crisis to
now. But why we even believe in karma? Let the law take its course. Now, this is a very controversial point that Cameroon is at. How do you think they pick it up from here? Do they leave justice in the hands of the Norwegian government, or should the Norwegian government repatriate a one-time Cameroonian citizen, that is Mr. Ayabacho Lucas, back to his land of promise or to his land of birth, where justice should prevail?
Anyway, you discover that it cannot happen. It's something that is very difficult for me in my own level to see that it happens, because one, even the Naira situation, the international bodies, it was not easy with Cameroon government, because between even the international committee was frankly with Nigeria of allowing such a thing to happen, and there were not a lot of things have happened behind. If you go online and see another thing, a lot of things have gone behind that Naira situation that Ayo Tabe with the rest, and they were talking to Cameroon. They don't work that way. That is a criminal. That is a crooked way of doing things, which is not acceptable internationally. We believe that what will happen if the Cameroon government have a treaty with Norwegian government, and the policy or what the reason or the claim that leads to his arrest is in connection with Cameroon government talking or relating with the problem directly. That's a situation that you go indirectly, you cannot go directly. They will do. If Norwegian government have a direct treaty with Cameroon government on that one, it will happen. You got the point now. But I still believe that even if they have to happen that way, they have to give him the opportunity to interview him or to judge him first in Norwegian and see that if it cannot move that way, because they cannot take it sent to Cameroon. See what happened with Julius Charles. Julius Charles, when we talk about the WikiLeaks, when he was in Britain, it was not easy with him until he went and entered I think it was the which embassy like that. And he was staying in that embassy for long until now justice have himself. Until now he's a free person. You got the point. So sometimes those international relationship is very important. You don't just take people somewhere, because the way we have to train our own Cameroonians. We just feel like things are not moving the way it happened in Cameroon. You cannot catch someone from Buea and the next day you send to Yaoundé. No. If you catch someone to Buea according to normal norms, you were supposed to judge the person in the court in Buea, and if the court in Buea realizes that the matter cannot be handled here, they can send it to Yaoundé. It's not what is happening in Cameroon. It's not catch you from Buea and send it to Yaoundé. It's not like that. What happened with your colleague journalist, they call him getting what? His story. It is not something like that. What is happening in Cameroon is not what is happening internationally. When they catch you in a particular country because of a crime, that you are committed a crime. Later, what happened with the other separatists in Europe, the other guy that was caught in US. They have to justice in the US, and I think he was finally set free. Because they said that he was collected. Because the government has, the US have the law, Norwegian have the also law. No matter what you are doing in your own country, they have their own law. And it's not like our own country that we allowed foreigners to come and trample over our law, and we are holding our own citizens on the laws. No, there are countries that whoever you may be, as a citizen of that country, you work under that law. First of all, the complicated issue is that if Ayabacho, as we said, still carry out the German nationality, it's too complicated, because the German government must intervene. It's their citizen. It's not like Cameroon that will take our citizen, will throw them on the air. No. When you concern America, when you concern other countries like in Europe, they don't play with the citizen no matter where you're coming from. So far you have the citizenship of that country. You are capable of in what cases it may be. So if truly he carried the German nationality and he's married to a Norwegian, the both countries they need to also sit down and talk about it, because it's about the country integrity. Yes, it's about the country integrity. They don't want something to happen, and then after the whole world will start to talk to Norwegian that what you did was wrong. Because you can't remember, they have had the alliance with the Biafra people, the people of Biafra, when they are fighting also in Nigeria. And I can't remember, go online and discover that the leader have made a statement that they will know they're going to be very careful with such a fight. So it's an international thing. Yeah, because you don't even know what will happen, because even as a Norwegian you are afraid, or your own citizen in Nigeria, your own citizen in Cameroon, so you're also afraid of what will happen along the line. So you don't just do things because you want to do. No, you must be very careful. You must be very diplomatic. It apply a lot of diplomatic in that issue. A lot of diplomatic need to be applied in that issue. It's not something that we just take like that. No.
Okay, now in your opening outing, you mentioned that a lot of Cameroonians and a lot of people who have been connected one way or the other, or interested in the political happenings in Cameroon or in the insecurity in Cameroon, that some of them have received this in good faith and others in bad faith. Now, would you, as a political observer, say that categorically that the Norwegian government needs an applause for taking a step forward ahead of other governments? Because we know that there are a lot of separatist defense forces who are resident in maybe the United States and other countries in the world. Now, if the Norwegian government is acting like this and acting ahead of the other countries who are playing hosts to the insecurities in Cameroon, or as regards, hosting some of the defense force members, would you say that this is an action to reckon with?
Well, it's an action to reckon with because it deals with a country that, another countries or other countries or friends of other countries, they're accusing of keeping people who they think that they're separatists and they're causing violence in other countries. But if you look at it globally, you'll discover that even America, they have people like that where they sponsor. In other countries, France, they have people who are support. When you talk about Sahel, all these regions talk about separatists. There are countries like in Europe, like most of some of these French countries, they support all those terrorists. Sometimes they give them legal passport to go to other countries, do terrorist attack or whatsoever. So it is a norm. It is something that is not a new thing in the international scene. It's not a new thing in the international milieu. It's something that is. I know that it is well understood. For example, if you look at Hezbollah is sponsored by Iran. You understand what I'm saying? And he is working, operating where? In Lebanon. And the Lebanese government have allowed it to happen. You got a point now. So there are many of things like that happening around the world. So we need to understand that in the global stage, those author of alliance separatists being hiding in another country as a separatist leader or whatsoever, it is being allowed in one level, except there is a lot of diplomacy that may go to a level whereby they may say, okay, let us arrest this person. And like what happened in US, where one of the Amazonian leaders were arrested, and there was a lot of noise. What happened, and he was judged and was released. You got a point. So those are the things that we have to understand. International relations and international laws are different from our locals and our locals laws. If it was in Cameroon here, maybe whatever that happened like this night, maybe we don't hear that they just kill him and throw him somewhere. In Cameroon, most of these separatist leaders, one of the problem that the government have had with himself is that they believe that killing all those separatist fighters, leaders, or what is a solution to the problem. It's not caused no solution to the problem because maybe you can't remember when the crisis started. You look about General, they call it General. There are many of those generals. They have killed them. Have the crisis stopped? No. But I still. So
are you saying that
I still believe that
other government should be reluctant in the persecution
of
these activists?
It's not that reluctant of persecuting the activists. It's not reluctant. It depends on what is on ground that you have to do. But because for me, if the separatists, all these guys that they have been killed, Nambere and the other all those from these generals, they were put on the prison to question them and to find out what is the listing. I mean, it will cause a lot of positive to the government to see how they can use some of them to bring solution. But most of them thought that killing them is a way forward. And now, when you want to talk about the government, you want to hit out to the government that, okay, you need to sit down for a dialogue. You say, I want to dialogue with who? Those people who are supposed to be part of the dialogue, you are killing them.
Hello and welcome to the program. Good evening. Okay, we lost a caller. Ladies and gentlemen, dear televiewers, in case you're wondering on how to connect to the program, then you can do so through the number that you can find on your screens. You can reach out to the number on WhatsApp and through normal calls. Just place a call through and tell us your take, what you think pertaining to the topic on board. And just so you know, this is the first topic that we have to really navigate through today. And the second topic is still on the way. And I am still in the company of Dr. Bear Christian, who is a seasoned and a die-hard political analyst. And of course, he came here with all his political habits and knowledge, expertise, know-how to make sure that we are educated. And I hope that you're following the moving train and you're enjoying every bit of the program. Thank you, Doctor. You were talking about the prosecution of this. I think this is a very smart point that you're raising because so many people are still of your opinion. People watching, viewers alike are watching. We still have this caller on the line. Hello, good evening and welcome to the program.
Hello.
Yes, good evening and welcome to the program Matters. You are live. Where are you calling us from?
I'm calling from Bamenda.
Okay, thank you. What is your
Yeah.
name?
I'm Japheth.
Okay, Mr. Japheth. Right on
Yes.
with your point, please.
Yeah. I'm interested in the program. Thanks for the panelists.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to ask this question. If Dr. Yabacho is of having German nationality and he's married to a Norwegian,
Yes.
now what is his interest in sponsoring war crime in Cameroon?
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. The viewer is asking his interest in sponsoring war crime, but I think anybody can sponsor it.
Yes, international, terrorist attack, a whole lot does not necessarily mean that you must be on ground. People have their own ideology, and people want to do things because they feel that, first of all, why that Iwacho is from this side of the country.
From Mezam.
Precisely from
Northwest
Mezam, from
region.
Northwest region. And it may be, based on what have happened since 2016, he finds himself as a good position to say that he can contribute his own way, whether good or bad, we put it, to make sure that the crisis come to an end his own way. Whether it's, I don't know, I don't want to say, don't condemn what he's doing, but everybody have his own way of contributing. Maybe that was his own way. So everybody have his own interest. But we still believe that the arrest, that he have been arrested, it will be either be a blessing or a curse.
And sometimes, doctor, hearsay, assumptions even has it that most of the people fueling the crisis, I'm not talking about those who are picking arms on ground, those leaders, those anti-political leaders are outside Cameroon because they find it to be a safe haven to influence the crisis even more, and the boys on ground allegedly are getting instructions from those who are up there, sponsoring the crisis and calling the shots. I don't know if I'm right.
Yes, you are right, but the truth is that most people are exposed. When you know the government that you are dealing with, you have to also have to be careful, because if you look at internationally, most people who are like trying to fight a cause in a particular nation, they don't even live in that nation because they will fetch you out and the highest thing will kill you. So most of them find places where they can hide themselves, find the country that they can lodge them, and places that they can be safe. And if you are not safe, you cannot do what you are doing. You see, like ICCs, they have way. Some of them they go around, they go to Qatar, they go to other countries. There are a lot of things that are happening. You got the point I'm saying? So we may not necessarily expect that somebody must come to Cameroon, because even the Cameroon government, there are leaders that some authority that are going to hide them in Yaoundé because it's a safe place for them. They don't want to be on the field. Jews have left their post often, they're giving command from outside. So it's also the same thing, because everybody wants a place that is safer. So nobody will not see a place that is not safe and stay there. But maybe what I'm fearing for this crisis is that the government should do well to make sure that he solves this crisis, because for my own analysis, I like to question people, I like to see a lot of things around, and I like to go to international thinking that if the government does not go quick to shift to solve this crisis, and my fear is that from next year, so these separatists, what I'm thinking is on the ground, that they will start to carve out environment or areas that will be the safe haven, which means they are planning being to go to Momo, make sure that no government authority lives there. They put whenever they give they find an environment that is their environment that have captured to what I'm thinking, they put their own authority that this is the person that will rule in this place, and this is how they will be moving. Whether they use currency, that's not a problem. Whether currency they use, that's not a problem. Is that everybody here should be under this person, and it becomes so strong, to attack a environment where the leaders they have captured, and they have put their own leader in that environment.
Doctor, we cannot be too sure, and that is just
what I'm just saying, that I'm fear, because the way things I'm going, I'm seeing that way. So it's like trying to give.
I mean, this is 8 years, and that has not happened, and
it has happened.
It is not easy.
It has happened to some areas. There's some areas that see what happened. For last year, after last year, how does CBD match? They have safe haven. They can march freely. They can do their parade. They can do everything. It's just to tell you that that's the plan.
Okay.
And it's going
Doctor,
forward.
throughout your expose or throughout your analysis, you have constantly knocked on the head of the government. Of course, who wouldn't? Because one would expect them to do more. Let us go back to the 2019 October 30th to, September 30th to October 4th event which happened. That is a Grand National Dialogue in Yaoundé under the auspices of, His Excellency President Paul Biya, but through the spokesmanship of His Excellency the Prime Minister of Cameroon, Chief Dr. Joseph John Guti. Would you want to say, where was Dr. Ayabacho Lucas? Where were the others? Why did they not come? Now, this is an open invitation. We understand that some analysts have come out strong to say that maybe they were being too security conscious. But everybody's eyes were on government at that time. It was a kind appeal. It was a gesture. Now, would you blame anybody for government action if they are pressing so hard after about 2 times, chance given separatists for an entrance to dialogue, or for a leeway towards dialogue, for an embrace towards dialogue? Who should be blamed?
Maybe the government should be blamed. The Anglophones elite should be blamed. To me, that's how I look at it. Why? Because when you look at the situation, let me first go back to the level of that Naira issue. If, according to what I gathered, if that information was not leaked earlier, maybe we could have heard about about a tablet today. Maybe you could have been killed, because many people know that that's how the government will behave, and that is the attitude. So with that type of seeing this man, they call it Mancho BBC. Mancho BBC was not even talking about the crisis. Mancho BBC was protesting on bad roads in Bamenda, bad infrastructure in Bamenda. He was doing a conflict revolution. He was talking about the crisis, but see, they put in prison today.
But we understand that protests.
No, Mabel. We should be realistic worldwide. America worldwide. Protest is part of their present demand to the government. It's not a taboo. If the government put a taboo, it means it's a weak government. It means that the government it's an oppression government. It is even in America, even in Israel, and we see people go on street every day. In Nigeria, people go on street. We cannot say taboo is a taboo. It's the oppression system that are put in place that they don't want people to protest.
No, but we are not saying it's a taboo.
No, because
there is a protocol to do that. But you take permission from government.
They can't even give permission. How many of these are government? The government is not a transparent government, because you go to government that transparent. There's a policy on the ground. There's a law that says that if you want to protest, you come and they will endorse it. But when they say it's not favor them, they block it. And when they say it favors them, they won't endorse it. You say no, and people are going out to protest about the separatists. It's government have endorsed it. How are the one that come and the government? The things that government are doing, government are not doing bad things. They are doing a lot of things in the field. They are doing a lot of things that countless things that we cannot see and talk.
But we understand that during protests there is always rioting, there is looting, there is mass destruction and all of that.
They used to tell that there should be a department for protesting. In every country, they guide you and they tell you that if you are going for protest, you are coming to do all this thing. They want you that if there's any state destruction, you pay for it, you go down for it, right? So the people that you are going out to do a protest, you tell. I can't remember. I watched the Formula 1 in Nigeria when the guys they were going out. All the whole country were going out, but they warned them, please don't go out and destroy state property. I can't remember even Pastor Chris make a statement that if you go out to protest, it's a right. It's a fundamental right from United Nations to go out to protest.
Now, how do you start controlling a grieving mob?
A grieving mob. They used to put them not to be grieved. It's to me they don't want to be grieved, because blocking them not to be grieved, you are causing more trouble. It's like, first of all, you asking me something, maybe you need money for food, you need money for something. I'm always taking excuses and blocking you. Why do you fight me? You got to know what I'm saying now. So when you quote them, we pray them down. You are causing more problem. Now when we talk about, let me come back to the national dialogue. The national dialogue was a scam. You and I know that it was a scam. That I can't remember. There's one back that came from. I think it was from I think it was Germany or France. Or France, yes. Who was also given the opportunity to say, and he told me and Moki and the rest that they were there that this monologue is not a dialogue. Those that even came from the diaspora, they show that it is a monologue. It's not a dialogue, because it was not something that the government really want to go down to find the lasting solution for this crisis. And you see what is happening in Mabel. They will use more of this around the phone borders. First of all, let me give you an example. See, when I talk about national bilingualism, they put most of the Anglophone. When they go to disarmament, they put 5 Anglophone. When they go for disaggregation of workers, that's how they are behaving. And the government, we must embrace. Cameroon need to operate like Canada. when you have the Anglophone community, the Francophone community. There must be a policy that guides all those communities. Respecting that you are a French person, you speak a French, you are an English person, you speak English. All those communities need to be respected in each way with the best of the policy. The word right, and they need to put everything, look at everybody equally. But if you look what's happening in the government, it's manipulation. They are trying to use other borders people to manipulate others, which will not work. I can't remember. I left Yaoundé the other day. I mean, it was in Douala when I went to one sister station. When I finished there, one French guy asked me. One guy from Douala, it was the Douala man from Douala. He's not a child. He's an elderly person. So when I came down, he was so excited what I said on the TV. I said, "Sir, doctor, how do you think that this crisis, we can stop this crisis, or this crisis could have been, could have not come to this stage?" I said, "Yes." I said, "Okay, let me give you from my own. The only way that we can solve this crisis and let it go down to dust and let it come out to final resolution is that at the beginning of this crisis, you know what the enemies Cardinal Tumi said? That we need all Anglophone conference. The government could have allowed the Anglophones to have that conference. And that conference was a shortcoming or weakness of the government itself, because they did not even believe in federalism. They did not even believe that people can sit down and talk by themselves and come with a resolution and let us debate it.
Submit.
Yeah, submit it, let us debate it. So I told the man that the Anglophone community of the North need to speak on the conference. The Anglophone community of South need to speak on the conference. The Anglophone, those communities, they don't need government officials. They don't need to be there. We don't need government because they have been too corrupt to the barrels that they always play the go to big confusion. The Anglophone communities of both the South and North need to sit down and have a frank dialogue by themselves and come out with their problems and solutions and a way forward and submit it to the government. And then there needs to be a meeting, and that meeting must be within the government representative. We need that community. And after that, whatever is being said in that, it must be debated both national and international in order to be a solution. And I believe that that's the way forward. Because when we keep on saying people, this man is bad, this Frenchman is bad, this Anglophone is bad, but people don't feel free. You got the point I'm saying now. Some French people have lost their property in these areas. You are some Anglophone are some somewhere. So all of them are human beings. So we are putting so that let us be a lasting solution to this crisis. And the only way I think that is the best way is through the dialogue that the government have been running. You cannot say invite a separatist from Europe to come to Yaoundé. All those plans, they have leaked the secret to them. That when you come, you don't even go to the dialogue ground. You go directly to Konangi. And you talk about Akwa Yannick. Akwa Yannick was somebody that dropped his weapon.
Okay, we have another caller on the line. Thank you, Doctor. Hello and welcome to the program, Marcus.
Yeah, it's the same person.
Okay, that's fine. You can have your time on the program too.
Yeah, I am so interested in what the doctor is saying, and I want the doctor to answer, to help us. He's talking to the public, and the public needs to be informed. If not, the public will be deformed by what he's saying.
Okay.
And can you try to substantiate the difference between a rioting, a manifestation, and a mob action? These are something that we need to know. What does it mean when people go out to manifest? What is the law? I was talking about manifestation. And then when it comes to rioting, so these are something that, yes, the law in Cameroon permits that, but can he substantiate it so that in the near future we cannot say that, okay, these people were carrying out a manifestation, these people were doing a rioting, and these people were doing a peace march. So if he doesn't bring those things to play, we may not understand. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you too.
Okay, let me just answer him. There are peaceful, what we call peaceful, protests, which is very much understandable and is recognized, is acceptable worldwide.
It's still a protest.
It's a protest. When you talk about people going for protests in any country worldwide, it is a right of the citizen that whatever they don't feel that the government is doing, for example, if you vote the government in place as they have voted Mr. Abia in place, and they realize that there are some things that Mr. Abia have said, maybe in his speech, that I will tie road in Boya, I will tie road in this, I will do this infrastructure, I will do this. As he earlier said in his speech, that Cameroon and Sanche and Great Ambition, this one, and he slid down those process, and you voted him based on that in the office, and realize that he is not doing what he speaks or what he says. You have the right to go to the government and or to ask for that you want to do a peaceful protest on the issue of that this government is not doing this, or we are suffering of road problem, we don't have water, It's a normal fundamental right. Now, when you talk about violence, violence is when people go on protests and decide to go out of the scope, out of the normal norms, out of the normal procedure. For example, like what happened in Nigeria, they said that they want to go out for a peaceful protest, and people started to become violence. You are quite that. That is it. Sometimes some people goes beyond that, and it is not good that you accept that you want to go for a peaceful protest and you start to destroy state property or start individual property. Like what also happened, I think, was in Britain when they started breaking shops, stealing people's articles, and the rest like that. Those are violent protests, which is not the best. We also have riot. Most riots are going through violation that are not even being accepted by the government, but people feel that they want to. Or to raise an alarm, or they want to hold the government on a particular issue that they see. For example, what happened in what year was that? Operation Vimo in Cameroon, where there was a lot of Vimo all over Cameroon. People were going burning things. Those are rioting. We call that rioting. Rioting go with chaos. Rioting go with violence. Rioting go with disrespecting norms and rules and regulations, disrespecting laws. Those are rioting. When you say people are on riots, it means that they are not in control. Yes. They don't want people to want to go out of proportion.
Would you say that peaceful protests are manifestations?
Protestations are manifestations of grievances. You go to my story now. They are manifestations of grievances, because if you are not grieved of anything, there's no need for you to go to the street. Yes, you go to the street because there are things. For example, you see what happened here in Boya, when in Bonakana, when those youths were arrested. You see the Mami, the whole Kindergarten for a peaceful protest. It was a manifestation of the anger that the children have been taken against their will from their homes. You got the point now. Those are the one of the things that we talk about is peaceful protest as the manifestation of what? Of anger. That people are not comfortable with the action of either the government or the particular institution. That's why they decided to behave that way. But when you go to the level of destroying things, broken places, killing people, that is violence. That is not what we accept, for people who want to give their grievances. But let's come back to the national dialogue, Mabel. I believe that government have the opportunity, to make sure that they solve this issue once and for all. And that fact that they refuse, I mean that people are still clamoring for second national dialogue, and the government did not say anything. I can remember one time they were making some claims, or some talks were going around that they are preparing for the second national dialogue. I quite remember some of my friends, like my very good friend Dr. Ningwanya, was claiming on the front time, saying that they are preparing, they are believing God for the next national dialogue. Yes, it's all about people are planning, because people are suffering, people are going through things, people are going through challenges, and everybody wants a good environment. Every people wants, some of us that we have traveled out of the country, when you go to other countries, you see the way people are living, you see the streets, you see the infrastructure, you see the way, you ask yourself, what's happening in my own country? So some of us, we are talking based on that background.
Okay, now if we are to believe, or if we are to expect, if we are to, be very open and receptive towards or hopeful towards a second national dialogue or grand national dialogue, call it whatever, what should be different? Reading from all or analyzing your speech, extracting your speech, Doctor, one would think that you want the government to be more open in their invitation to make sure that these political anti-activists are included on the dialogue table. Yes. And it should be more inclusive.
Yeah, the national dialogue that was held years back, many people talk about, amnesty, many people talk about, they have to give assurance for the separatists that nothing will happen to you and whatsoever. And if there's no assurance, there's no security assurance for the participant for the national dialogue, it might not be successful.
How about picking a neutral ground?
Yes, that's why I was coming. That's why I'm saying that if the government is firm and wants this national dialogue or this conflict to just finish, let me just put this, just cease immediately. To me, like what the Norwegian that they are accusing today was indicating that they can host the dialogue. You got the point. They can host us. America indicated, Canada indicated, so other countries indicated that they can be a mediator for the two persons. And the only way that this thing can happen positively is that they choose a country or they accept invitation of a particular country who can be like a mediator, so that the separatists, they choose who, they make a open, they sit down and they themselves send letter to all those who give their their go ahead to be part of this thing and discover that they have a key role to play. You are positively to the dialogue. You got the point. And let government say its own representative. Let them go like they are the boss, they are the top people, they are the one in control, because all the attitude will be arrogance, a lot of arrogance and insult, and you will disrespect people, and a lot of things will not move right. But if all of both of them come like independent people with their representatives, it's not what happened in Israel. When their fight is going on with Palestinians, they have to go and see in Qatar, where they have the Egyptians and the Qatarians. They were there to mediate, and Netanyahu have to say his own representative, and the Palestinians say, that's how we talk about dialogue. It's not about you coming as a government feel that you have what is saying. No, we don't want all those type of dialogue. Those are monologues that will not yield no fruits. We want dialogues. Don't put that dialogue. We have even trilogues where people from different angles can come in, with their own good idea to make sure they contribute. Because what we are talking here, maybe, is not just about, some people just feeling that they just want to bring trouble to the country. It's about history. We have to first go memory lane to know that it's about history.
Yeah.
And when it concerns history, accumulated grievances, accumulated pain, accumulated denial. And I can remember one time, one parliamentarian made a statement in the parliament. I talked about Mr. Weber and said that when injustice become a law, resistance become a. It was a reminder to the government that when people are going through pain and through hardship and through some grievances, now they will try to resist whatever happens, and will draw inspiration for what happened in Afghanistan, where you see the Taliban resist the government, even was backed by America until they have to take over the powers. You got the point. And even though all those fighting was still going in Afghanistan, they were still holding talks behind. America was sitting with the Taliban on the table, talking. Someone was saying the secretary was saying, well, they have to talk. They are human beings. Whether being the military, being the government, being the secretary, being all of them, in international law, they are human beings. Before God and man, they are human beings. And we need to respect everybody. Whether this person is from military, this person is from the government, this one is from separatists, whatsoever. It's not like you are in the house. You have a stubborn child. What do you do with a stubborn child? Or the child is fighting for some particular thing. You will not kill a child because you say that, why are you asking for bread where I've already given you part of the bread? And the child said, no, the one that maybe you gave me is not enough. Or the agreement you people agree for before you go to the bakery was not what is happening now. You need to sit down with the child and talk it out and let people agree, so that people will live in a good environment and people can have a good sense of, belonging, moral, togetherness, and a social way of interacting, which will make you people, to carry activities well. So there's no need for you to show that, because whenever you show big brother, there's one thing, maybe, when you claim that you are a senior man in the house, and you are always beating your junior brother, shouting at them, suppressing them, do whatever you're doing. Remember, one day they will also big. And when they big, they will think beyond what you are thinking. And when they start to think beyond what they are thinking, something will move right.
Something will not move right. And of course, that has been maybe the case of Cameroon. And that is why we are here. And according to, in the voice of Dr. Christian Bear and several other analysts and writers and observers of the socio-political armed conflict that has been raging on for about 8 years now, many of them think that this thing is getting overboard, or the situation is getting overboard, because the government has acted maybe adamant in some people, or the government has not put in sufficient amount of effort in making sure that they look into the troubles that have been raging for about 8 years now. Ladies and gentlemen, that is that for the first topic today. And in case you're just tuning in, this is Matters, and I am your host, Mabel Camden, and I am in the company of a political analyst who is bringing all the sight to the topics that we are going to be expounding and negotiating today. On our second topic, we are going to be looking at the ban of Samuel Eto'o by FIFA. We understand and we all know that Samuel Eto'o is the Fecafoot boss, and he was banned during the under-20 women's match that happened in Bogota in Colombia, and which he attended, and that was in September 11, 2024. And during that time, FIFA accused him of violating fair play and manipulating or exercising discharging offensive behavior. This is what we are going to be looking at in our next talking point immediately after this jingle break. Don't go anywhere. gentlemen, welcome to the program Matters. It has been an hour of extensive talk, and thank you so much for making sure that this program has all the beauty that it deserves. And in case you're wondering how to reach us, you can do that through the number that you find on your television screen by dropping us an SMS, a WhatsApp message, or you can place a call through to onboarding what you have on your chest, and ask your questions on those on the panel, and or intercept by giving in your own opinion as you see it according to the topic on board. Next topic on board is the ban of Samuel Eto'o-Fils, the Fecafoot boss. He was banned by FIFA for obnoxious behaviors and for unfair play, and this happened during the on the 20 women's game in Bogota, Colombia, which happened in September 11, 2024, which Eto'o-Fils attended. Now, doctor, we understand that you're a very versatile person for creeping outside the corridors of politics. One will hear you talk sports and they'll be amazed, but then again you are here to sharpen us on all sides. And while this has been received with a lot of mixed reaction, even though FIFA says Eto'o-Fils can appeal the decision, which means Eto'o-Fils can appeal it and they can look into it, debate it, and see whether to reduce the 6-month ban, or to maybe let it stay, or to overrule the ban, if at all. Now, many people think Eto'o-Fils or the Fecafoot boss over time has been known for his absolute arrogance. And other people think that it is just justice. This is FIFA doing justice. And another school of thought has it that his cup is extremely full. Where do you belong? Do you think this is good riddance for bad rubbish?
Anyway, to me, the way I look at Eto'o-Fils, I will tell you that Eto'o-Fils is one of that committed Cameroonian who is very courageous to make sure that to see Cameroon move forward to the next generation, to the next level. And normally, as a football player, that attitude or that character of always, agitating when things doesn't move right is always there to him. It's obvious because you see like Jose Mourinho, you see him reacting, you see like Ten Hag, you see him throwing people on the ground, you see play like Pep Guardiola mashing chairs. Those are all his actions. At part of football, those are all the actions that at this point. Eto'o-Fils have taken another office, but still carry that character of a player, which always try to react when things are not moving right. So, if you look at Eto'o-Fils as a former player and a Fecafoot boss, you will discover that he still carried out the play, that attitude of a player, which is in him, which is part of him for a very long time. And he is also a person who whereby knows the ethics of the game. And when sometimes things are not moving right, they also like to agitate or like to show the action or to show their protest. It's not only Eto'o-Fils. Many leaders have done like that. Not only him. Managers of footballs and other things have happened like that because they feel that maybe what happened was not right. I not watch the match, but I still believe that Eto'o-Fils is somebody who have a lot for Cameroon, but have a lot of challenges in front of him.
Now, do you think
a lot of opposition before him?
Okay, now how does that solve anything? Now we are looking at somebody who has constantly been dragged, both online, on site, in the media, out of the media. Somebody who has had to face so many fronts, and in all of his outings and in all of his squabbles, many people have tagged him to be very, very rude, impolite, and very arrogant. Now we have seen FIFA calling out his arrogance and addressing his arrogance yes again, allegedly. Would you say that this tallies to what a cross-section of other Cameroonians have been labeling him, Doctor?
Well, in Cameroon, you have the good, the bad, the ugly. So don't expect Eto'o-Fils as a footballer that everybody loves him, everybody claps and applauds him as a footballer. Now, as a football president, everybody will clap at him. One of the things we have in this our country is that most of our leaders, they want the young guys, the young generation, to fight for what is wrong. What we call paid lies. they paid you to tell lies about somebody to ruin somebody's career. You know, since Eto'o came as the Africa footballs, you know the challenge that you have going in the country itself, where political leaders they have seen it like a part of that they must control every institution that they find themselves in Cameroon, and they find a way to ruin him down so that he should feel, discouraged. He should feel, come to a point of self instinct, and then try to, give up the whatsoever. Sometimes we have had people even clamoring that Eto'o need to be replaced. They want to replace Eto'o, meeting be held whatsoever. But I still see him like a brave leader who have Cameroon at heart. There's no race that you run, maybe that you not have oppositions. There's no race. There's nobody in this world. Even Jesus Christ himself, when he was in this world, had people who were against him, have opposition. So why you talk about Eto'o? Eto'o might not be, it can never be somebody that everybody will love Eto'o. Everyone as a player, there's somebody who hates him, there's somebody who don't love him, there's somebody that maybe one reason or the other, they don't like his playing style. Sometimes they come to Fecafoot. What's happening in Fecafoot? People don't want him because someone say at the take, someone says he's arrogant. But let me tell you, when you are a leader and you are in charge, there are things that you accept, there are things that you understand, there are things that you compromise, there are things that you use diplomacy, and the things that you use authority. And people don't understand how to look at Eto'o in going to manage all those sectors that I'm telling you. Eto'o is somebody that, which if I look from distance, doesn't give his right or his authority anyhow to anybody, no matter who you are. He always want to make you to know who he is. If you see the situation that happened between him, the minister, and McBreeze, you realize that Eto'o, people will say it's arrogant. It's not about arrogance. It's the way you approach him. Maybe you can be a nice person, but the way I approach him might make you to be arrogant, might make you to react. And people that will see a reaction and say no. And you also, for example, see what happens with players in the field. They may come and, most of the European players, they'll come and meet you and say, look at this black monkey. And they'll run away. And then you will, anger now will push you now, you start to run behind them. Those are the words, but I've said the word. So they anger you. So Eto'o is not familiar, Eto'o is so familiar with all those insulting words. And he have also been such a person that you have to find a way out.
No, but this same person we are talking about, still in relation to the ban. This is somebody who has been in the surface of controversy for a very long time now. Last year, we had amateur clubs calling on the government to, bring him or lay him off as Fecafoot president. And we also know the quagmire that he's been into between the Belgian coach McBreeze and the Minister of Sport and Physical Education, Professor Narcisse. And we also have a controversial situation which happened with the CAF. CAF fined him, whooping sums for signing a deal with one expert. All of this for a Fecafoot president. Do you think he is gradually filling his cup and it is really not sound? We have had, he is not the only person that has been in that office as Fecafoot president. We have had other people, but why is his so peculiar?
Maybe you know that the truth that I want to tell you sitting here with me now in this platform is that our leadership in this country know how to ruin a person down. This is our country. They know how they can ruin you down to nonsense. For that one, they can lobby to young guys. That's why you see our country cannot grow. Because most of our young people, they have built them, they have structured them how to fight anything. They don't think. They don't reason. They don't think. So far you give them money, you give them promises, they can fight. Anything they think they can fight. And there are people in the government that they can go any length, even to bring people to fight you. You got the point I'm saying? But let us look at it critically. I believe that when you go to the level of Fecafoot have its own way that have been operating before Eto'o. And I can't, from my own knowledge, I know that Eto'o, according to his early office, have tried to lock some of those loopholes that people was eating fat from it. And some people are angry. Some people don't want it. And that's how they go to show their own revolution, by fighting him back.
Now, how does that add up to the misconduct that he has discharged over time?
No, nobody is perfect. Let me tell you the truth. Nobody is perfect. Even if Eto'o is coming at the limelight, there are many people that they have had a lot of bad conduct, both internationally and nationally, and they have not been welcome to the limelight. So we should not only crucify Etofi because we will see that he have had. Because if that what happens, I don't follow it up. But if what happened with Etofi were truly violating international FIFA rule, FIFA could not have given him opportunity to come and protest, or to come and and try to give out, try to write or fight or to reverse the law. It means that it maybe it was out of pressure that something happened. You know that sometimes we Africans we have shown the world how corruption can be you know, people can do corruption and go.
I'm talking about corruption. The Fecafoot president has, besides his moral, maybe destitute, for lack of better words, or poor moral standing, by accusation from FIFA, he has also been accused of match fixing, and that is why the band is going to cover up until 6 months. Match fixing.
Well, maybe.
Do you think Etofi, considering that he's legend, and this is somebody who is a world icon and a world reference, would stoop too low to fix and to configure a match to favor the under 20 female?
All those are conspiracy, maybe. We have seen even on field where the referees, I can't remember, you look on the last Premier League, referees have seen even handballs. I can't remember watching another team where handballs have had handballs, even with penalty have refused. They have done even rough game of penalty, they have refused. And sometimes, I can't remember, I just follow a situation whereby one refused, I think it was in which league, I think it was the Spanish league, that was, I think was suspended for 2 or 3 months. What happens that he brought in, he was not supposed to be referee, he was supposed to be the VRR, but they brought him as a referee, but he actually, until you take a player that I will kill a player and then they have to suspend him and whatsoever. There are conducts, there are principles when it comes to build FIFA. And Etofi is not like the first or the last person to do those things or to be accused, because sometimes they go with accusation. You know that sometimes on our European brothers also, they have a way when you are saying you have watched footballs from different levels. And you see, like for 1990, I don't know where you were watching football, where you have Tato Stephen, Kunde, Keke, Mabwa, Makana Big, Oman Big, Makanaki, Fede, Luis Paul, Songo, Bem, Adwan. You see those teams, you see, if you look at that match very well, Cameroon was even supposed to go to the final, but what of fraud and whatsoever. But when it concerns of them, they will not talk. When it concerns Africa, they want to project. So we Africans will also need to stand our ground to protect our own, because sometimes those allegations are not true. Because sometimes we don't go to the media, we start to classify, do one. So when we're not there, we don't know what happened. And sometimes on these European people, when you want to hit them hard on thing that is right, they want to create allegations. That is, you have done this, you have done this, you have done this. It may be something that have even passed that they even know, and which is sometimes have been happening along the milieux. They want to bring it up because they want to wash you down. Because the problem I'm saying. So to me, I don't see the need of just bringing it to and putting it on the cross. I want to crucify it too. But let us look at it critically, because sometimes we Africans also we only to sleep. We don't want to fight on our own. We don't want to fight for us to come out from our slumbers. And we don't want to burn to make sure that we show the world that we can do more better things than what they think about us. But see, yet we will still like to just see our own brothers and say, because I've done this, and that's why sometimes we suffer. No wonder you have seen an African nation manage to take World Cup or some type of league like that, because it's just like what some people say. They are putting the unbend that Africa should not take their World Cup, and they are doing all the means, and sometimes they can use any accusations on you. We have seen all those things. And sometimes when you talk to the city, you like to appeal. I took an appeal. Let him appeal. And if he knows that the conduct was not inappropriate as far as the FIFA rule is concerned, then you need to appeal for it. And sometimes they may say, okay.
And what if it is appropriate? Now, judging from your analysis, would you say that FIFA has been biased or non-biased in all of this?
Maybe it's not history. I'm a Cameroonian.
And you know that FIFA is neutral. FIFA is not a Cameroonian affair.
I'm saying that I'm just saying the truth. FIFA have been biased, especially in some African countries. FIFA. I'm not saying the truth. Let us be realistic.
Is it true?
From the time of Sepp Blatter, you know what has been happening with African countries. Sometimes you see even their matches, you see the way they handle the matches, you see the biasness in the matches. And I don't want to quote you, I don't know whether you were there at that time, 1990, I was still small. You see what happened even in the quarterfinal. When Cameroon went in the quarterfinal, what happened? Cameroon was supposed to win the match. But there was a lot of bias. In the field of play from the level of referee, and most people were there. That was still small, but most people were telling you people that it was 12 people play against 11. Even was Even when the match between Cameroon Argentina, the opening match, when Kanambi was sent out of the field, they hit somebody. If you look at the whole other thing, was there a lot of bias was there, but still yet the Africa need to struggle out of think light for them to to go to a particular level.
Okay, so
bias. We have to agree that.
Okay, so that there can be a thin consideration that FIFA in this case may have been biased.
Yes, FIFA is biased because if you look at it, maybe we look at globally. I cannot give you some tip now because of the urgency of the time that I was called for this program. But if you look at the various matches that have been played on the field, and if you look at some reality on the ground, you discover that FIFA have been biased. You cannot take FIFA is not biased. You see
neutral.
It's neutral or is upright or is faithful on doing what it's doing. It's biased in one point or the other. That is it. Because I don't think that we can just give somebody a ban, declare a ban. FIFA is a body that needs to be respected internationally. It's a body on its own. He has his right to take a decision, and nobody doesn't have to influence FIFA. But if you give somebody a ban of 6 months, and you are still saying that the person can appeal, it means that you are not sure of what you are doing. You are not sure. Maybe you are not sure. You cannot say I have banned Eto'o.
But even in the court of law, if a judgment is passed, you can appeal to the court of appeal.
I'm not refusing.
For the judgment to be looked into.
Yes, but if people see open that Eto'o can appeal, it means that they are not sure what is happening.
No, I think it's just normal. It's just normal.
I'm saying that it's normal. It's normal that you can appeal. But I believe that for a decision to be appealed, it means that
they are not sure.
They are not sure. They're not sure. Or the action was taken harshly. It was not something that, there are things that, first of all, if Eto'o did something that's wrong, is out of this thing, there are things that they need to go and sit down in communities, in committee, and look at it critically. It's like what they call a VRR. When a player does something wrong, you have to go back to a VRR and then engage it well so you make the right decision. Am I right? So they don't need you to harsh to just say, Eto'o have done this and then just take a decision on that. Sometimes some decisions are being influenced. You know that some of our politicians, especially in Africa, in Cameroon in particular, have entered into all teams, even into football. And they feel that they can fight everything in every levels, which is not good. In some countries, there are institutions that are under the government, but they are independent. They run the affairs. The government oversees the institution, but the government does not directly, not over too much influence. Almost 60 or 65% of the institution is being run by the institution. Government just come in to oversee what is it and do some auditing and see, make sure that everything is okay. But the government does not directly, as what we are seeing in Cameroon, when the Minister of Sport and with Eto'o and Macris, see how you be a foreigner to come and disgrace your own country, until you see a coach is having meeting with president, having meeting with big authority for what? For what? There are rules and regulations that concern the body institution in every country. When you have, if you use the person to be in the coach. The FIFA president. Is the FIFA president being a coach? What the government expect from the FIFA president? One result. Simple. One result. There's no need to come in to influence what you are doing. One result. When you see they are dragging this one, it's because they are looking by the monetary issue. They don't see the nation. Because if you see the nation, there's no need to FIFA, the Minister of Sport and Eto'o and the president to until they are making the issue of this thing. It's a sad situation that some communities are doing. I don't know what they are so conscious of their country, or they like to see this country draw into mud, or they love this country from the heart, or they really want to uphold the integrity of this nation, or make it comment that the president has to see because for what?
Okay, now going back to still the main topic, which is the ban of Samuel Eto'o for 6 months over misconduct and match fixing or offensive behavior. There is, when you want to see that a regime is doing well, I don't know if it is no standards, but I think you can judge with your predecessors and the subsequent regime, or your predecessors and the past regime judges with predecessors. So would you say that there is no smoke without fire? In the case of Sejong Bombonjoya, did we have a lot of scandal? It is true that a regime cannot go void of scandals or scandal-free, but did we have this kind of scandals in the case of Sejong Bombonjoya?
Well, the knowledge of Seun Monjoya and that of Etofis are two different helps, and they are. First of all, you first understand that Seun Monjoya came out from Coton, from Solocoton, and he had been part of the branch of the CPDM regime, and maybe he was able to manage the regime and the Fecafoot office, and his office himself has been categorized with a lot of corruptions, malpractices and other things, which even football clubs were, agitating for him, even for him to be removed from the office. So it is not a new thing. But you discover that at that time, he had his own challenges that he was able to deal with. He only became not early in his office like Eto. Eto entered in the office not just a few months or say for the 1 year. There was already challenges that was already going on between the staffs, the government officials, and the rest like that. So we look at the regime, but it is a bizarre, maybe, that, kicking coach, heavy, in those days of Naponachi, I think Valerie Naponachi and the other coaches, especially the other coaches, you discover that most of the time they meet the president when they have maybe win a trophy and they have to play with the president. But today we are seeing, talking of the media telling us that McBeast have to meet the president for what? To discuss issue that's going on to Fecafoot. It means that the government have failed. Because the government does not need to allow things to go to that level. The government have ruined, in fact, if I want to say something in this platform, I would say the government have to operate to Cameroonians. They are discussing this country to big time. This country citizens don't need such a leadership.
No, but in a case where the ministry is saying all instruction or high instruction from the head of state, and Fecafoot is saying I am an autonomous body. So there is a power tussle. There is a zero definition for boundary limits. Now, don't you think who is now going to be playing subjective or who is now going to be playing inferior? In a case where people do not know where to walk or where their lines are starting and ending, I think it is but normal that McBeast sees the precedent.
I don't think so, maybe, because in this country, this Fecafoot and the Ministry of Sport have been existing for years, for decades. And I believe that there are rules, there are laws, there are policies that guide the Fecafoot and the Ministry of Sport. Now, when it comes to the minister making statement that high orders from the minister, the president of the republic, I call that manipulation speech, because I believe that this country is a country of law, as our ministers will always say to us. And if the country is a country of law, even the president of the republic is under the law. Whosoever is in this country is under the law. And if we say that under the law, we don't need to hear that. I don't like me to hear all those words from ministers making that. I don't call it fair regime and fair government, because you say that high order from the president is not the constitution. The president is not the law. We have National Assembly, we have the House of the law, and so on and so forth. President is not the law. President is also been elected under the president law, and is being governed by the law, guided by the law. And there are law and procedure that bring him to that position. So when we say that, it means that if we say that the minister is saying that I'm bringing a high instruction from the president of government office, it means that they have violated all the country's laws that put them aside, which is no more, a country leaders, projecting the image of the country through the laws and the policy put on ground, but they are looking at the country as their personal assets. Because you cannot say that. I don't want to hear all what the PCM or ministers are always saying that high instruction from the presidency. I'd like to hear other stuff because I want to hear that the president of the republic have requested that they should follow the laws that govern these institutions and make sure they respect them. I will say kudos to the president, because that's what is expected for a country that want to emerge. Everybody will have to go by laws, because if everybody does not maintain its boundaries, there are bound to be conflicts. And if those conflicts emerge and that people do not go back to those boundaries and to maintain based on the laws and the policy that guides them, then you will continue to see where a coach who was supposed to come and do his job as a coach is having meetings with politicians on the office, having meetings with ministers in the office. It's not needed.
No, but we know that there are conflicting constitutions, especially in the sports sphere, where, for example, a glaring example, Fecafoot is supposed to act autonomous. But I hear there was a revolution of the constitution. I can't lay my hands on which year, which grants access to the intervention of the Ministry of Sports and Physical Education.
That's why I'm saying that maybe that is the manipulation we have in this one.
So in the case now of this kind of law,
that's why I'm saying that there's the manipulation of the government to control every institution. The government excuse me, have come so weak in such a way that they believe that if they don't control an institution and the institution grows and becomes strong, it will come like a blow to their face.
No, but which institution, doctor, all over the world?
Let me look worldwide, right? Look in Britain, look in other countries. The football federation is autonomous. And if there's a crisis like this, the president designated somebody to see into those crises and bring a report. Not the president having a meeting with the coaches. You got the point now? There should be a committee from the presidency to see into that. What's happening there? Not the coach coming to see the president for what? I've not seen that Biden will go and sit with the coach, discuss with the coach. Or the president or the PM of Britain want to go and sit with the coach. Do with the coach. There are committees that are there. They know the rules. They know the laws. They know what is in place. So if everybody wants to go by the law, they hold them by the laws. And that's why you see, if we leave our country that way, we'll not be seeing what is happening like this. Government cannot be infiltrated in the position. That's why people are saying that the government have weakened all institutions in this country. And because they want to control every institution, and that's why our country is like what it is today. Because if a country wants to emerge, maybe we need to have strong institutions that are autonomous and they are semi-autonomous for the country to emerge. Because whenever the country is down, the constitution comes to supplement the government. But the government of our country have decided they want to control every institution. They want to control the chiefs. They want to control the NGOs. They want to control every organization. They want to control this. They want to oversee what's happening here. And that's why we are where we are today.
Now, but which institution all over the world is completely? Let us be.
No, I'm not saying completely. Maybe
let us be factual.
I'm not saying completely.
Yes, but
I'm not saying completely.
One could think that you're saying it. Fecafoot should be totally independent.
No, I'm not saying so.
Even while they are clamoring for their independence, we all know that it is according to the books. There need to be a slim intervention from the Ministry of Sports.
I'm not refusing.
Especially on the appointment of coaches.
Good.
We understand there has been a conflict.
Maybe. Let us look at other countries around the world. And you will realize that there are countries, let me take South Africa, even though I'm not too versed with how the FA works there. But you hardly see conflict like this emerge until you see president intervening. Because there are bodies that, for example, there should be a clash between the team, the technical team, the coaches, and the Fecafoot. I mean, the Minister of Sport intervenes in behalf of the government, not the other government Minister of Sport fighting or clamoring, tossing with Fecafoot. Where are we going to? Those are all institutions now. They need this country to emerge, and the Minister of Sport of Sport is not there for Fecafoot. Fecahan is there, Fecabasket is there, other sport activities are there, Alex are there, other things that are under them that they're supposed to supervise. Why are they clamoring all on Fecafoot? It means that you used to say that if you see a child shouting somewhere or a son getting in the hand and hitting hand on the table before the father, it means that something is being taken from him against his will. Which means that the government or the Fecafoot authority, they are seeing that what they have been enjoying from Fecafoot, the Fecafoot policy now is coming to deprive them from that. That's
no, but we all know that comparatively, that football is the gold, is a treasure for every country.
And that's why we have to...
So the government cannot actually garner energy to channel it towards other sports like volley sport, whatever, But we understand that when it has to do with football, that is where the massive attention goes.
That's why any crisis that go with football should be handled with caution. That's why we need to respect ourselves, respect the players. You see what happened in the issue of when Etofis said that the match should be held in Garoua Stadium, and it was tussle. Do you see what happened with players calling government? It was a shame to the international bodies to see that international community bodies are interpreting in the Fecafoot in the country because they show that the government cannot understand what the Fecafoot. And you see, the other youth, they were saying that one, if they cannot play, we'll go and play. It's a shame to the Minister of Sport. We should not come to that level. Even though we know that most of this authority, they don't claim, they can disgrace themselves in the public, they don't bother about that one. But we are talking about a country here. We have a responsibility, we have a right to tell the government that what we are doing is not correct. You are not correct. It's not correct. We don't want to see short argument, we don't want to see a fight. They should respect the rules that bind between them. The law that you said, I think it was 2015, it was the government seeing that Fecafoot is autonomous and find a way to infiltrate Fecafoot to find his own way, and that is which is not good. Sometimes you will see foreign coach, paying heavy sort of money. You see Cameroon coaches paying not up to that amount that they're paying foreign coaches, which is not the best. I can't remember we had one good coach, Jean Akono, who was one of the Cameroon coaches that I appreciate his effort. He was one of the good coaches that I've ever loved in Cameroon. But how does he end it? How does he end his career? You see, those are the things. Because even us in Cameroon, we don't know how to build our own brothers and raise them to a point whereby they can handle our team for us. All of us is fight in.
Do you think at some point, I mean, this ban is coming after almost 3 months of CAF's punishment, punitive measure method on the Fecafoot boss, that is Samuel Eto'o, after he signed a contract with one expert? And do you think that at some point, this may be going a little bit out of the radar, do you think at some point Samuel Eto'o feels that he's untouchable? We understand that there is something called this hero consciousness, this heroism consciousness. Do you think that is what is happening with the young legend and the Fecafoot boss?
Well, maybe, the problem we have in our country is that everybody is looking for the interest, not of the nation. Including
the Samuel Eto'o fields?
No, I'm coming. Because, even before a Samuel Eto'o come, I know that in the level of Fecafoot, they sign contract with some of these other stakeholders, like OneNewsBet, other institutions. That it's normal that I know that most of them sign contract with them based on the fact that they want to project their football institution, and sometimes they even lobby for support for the football institution that we know. That's what I know that is happening in Fecafoot. It's not a new thing that's happening, but. I don't know the terms of the contract that everybody is happening that shouting on Eto'o that you have gone this, you have gone this, but we have to understand that this is our country that we'll find ourselves. Everybody is looking for the interest. Nobody is looking at the nation. Everybody looking at the interest. Maybe Samuel Eto'o is looking for his own interest. I don't know, because I know that his own interest, he need to hold this country apart. Because let me just leave all this was our soccer in Cameroon. No, let me just leave our soccer in Cameroon. But let me look at Sadio Amani. When I watched that Senegalese guy, his ambition for his country, I asked, what are we doing in this country? What are we doing in this our football federation, our ministers, our footballers? You see, Sadio Amani have devoted all his life to give back to the Senegalese.
But that's a patriotic citizen, and we have so many of these patriotic citizens.
That's what I'm saying, that instead of us trying to be patriotic to our own country, trying to make things that will bring, glory to our country, things that will project our country, things that will make, maybe when people go to abroad, we'll say, oh, you're coming from Cameroon, we're happy. It's like the time of Roger Milla. The time of Roger Milla in 1990, all the whole world talk about Cameroon through Roger Milla. There was a man called Roger Milla. Everywhere you go, you are proud to be a Cameroonian. You are proud to say you're a Cameroonian. But today, can we be proud on that same level? No. Because these people...
So are you saying that there is no patriotic person in Cameroon?
I don't see anyone.
The Samuel Eto'o we are talking about. The Samuel Eto'o we are talking about.
Have been putting his
has printed the Cameroon name on the world map.
Yes, Eto'o is putting his effort to do that. But to me, at one level, his interest is entry into his ambition to make this country proud. You got the point I'm saying now? His interest is coming in. And that's where interest is coming in. Like, for example, I'm not just talking like, let's push around football to go back to see what's happening. I like this country very much. And when I sleep, I pray about them and I think about them, because I'm seeing an emerging country that as we are making all this foolishness in Cameroon, in some 10 to 15 years to come, we'll see a European country in Africa. I'm talking about Burkina Faso. You see, people work with a lot of consciousness, all to build a country. All to build a country. We see even them building new markets, restricting that. We don't want to see vendors on the street. They want to see people selling on the street. Here in Boya, we come and move people from the market. We cannot be good markets. Where are they keeping their money? We cannot put infrastructure to make sure that our people enjoy our infrastructure around. Where are we going to, Mabel? Where are we going to? The other day I was watching, seeing the Puma Stadium, how behind there's grass, abandoned containers. Where are we going to, Mabel? In a country where we have to want to say that we are patriotic citizens, I have to say that we don't have our leaders in this country, and they're not patriotic.
There is so much that Cameroon needs to be concerned about, other than the garbage behind the Japoma Stadium. Don't you think?
There's a protection.
There is security issues. There are bad roads. There are lots. So which is supposed to be
everything is because of this bad policy. It's because of this infight. Go and left and right that is projecting a lot of this malice. What we are saying today, because there are rules. First of all, every city is supposed to have stadium directors, and the stadium director have responsibility.
But we have.
Maybe we are not. I don't refuse that they don't have. What are they doing? Because to me, when you see, I can't even, let me think about myself. When I went to Equatorial Guinea, I launched in a Hotel de Federation in Equatorial Guinea, where most players, the central stadium in Equatorial Guinea is the main stadium. Where inside that stadium, we have 4 disciplines. We have the boxing field discipline, we have the volleyball, we have everything. Go and see the stadium, it's neat. They keep the stadium neat. The field is there. People come, military men, civilians, they come there to make sport every morning. You got to put now, see the surrounding out of the sport. What we are talking? Because we are not looking at the field as a field. We are looking at protecting our international integrity of our nation. Because when nothing is protected, even internally, even in the internet, it gives all a bad impression about Cameroon. And this is the fact that we are saying Cameroon is a football nation. You have this one. We are talking about keeping our insanity in order, so that people should not take advantage of our weaknesses and look at us like fools internationally. That's what we are talking about here. We are talking about making our stadium, the environment. Why can we not make a stadium whereby we even make it all around the stadium like the one in Malabo? Malabo, all the show is all round. You can take a car and move all around, in and out. Inside the stadium is fence, and out of the stadium is no fence. That's how they build a stadium. You see whether you cannot. In fact, garbage bins are everywhere. Garbage bins are everywhere. You see whether how can you do this? And they are, as I tried to find out, they are legal, company or institution that they are there to keep the stadium clean. I can't remember when they played the match. I think the match with Mozambique I was in Malabo. I was there. They launched the hotel after our own hotel. I was there. After the match, the next day, the play was just the next day. They had to clean it up. I was supposed to see the whole place. Gavin was speaking and the whole place was clean. They go to our own stadium. What will happen? They will keep those things there for months until maybe when match is coming. That's what they'll be thinking about, keeping the stadium. How do you think that international body will be leaving their country to come and do inspection, and they come and if you at all they come to come and do re-inspection as supposed to do it, they come and see all those things. How will they talk about us? Because we're talking about international stadium where foreigners are coming there. They have to come in there. Some people don't just throw around. How do they look at us? It's a bizarre. It's something that we have to think about it. Because the leaders are not just there for themselves. They are stewards. They are there to project this nation up. They are not there for themselves. Like myself, I'm not here for myself. I'm here for the public. So my culture is just that I have to do what it takes from my own power to what I know to make sure that I give to the public what they need. That's my own contribution to our nation.
Now, talking about leaders being stewards, Samuel Eto'o has been banned for 6 months. And do you think that is fair, considering that he is not supposed to attend any match that has to do with Cameroon, whether nationally or internationally? Do you think that some fines could have been meted, but this particular, because there is a kind of morale and there is a kind of intriguing motivation that accompanies his presence anytime that Samuel Eto'o, the Fecafoot boss, is in the field. Sometimes you see him in the dressing room, talking sense into the minds of the players, and just that psychology intact, knowing that he is in the field, actually puts or beefs up the expertise and the performance of the players, whether the women on the 20 and the men category in whichever sporting domain. So would you say that that was unfair or that is deserving, considering the kind of punishments or considering the kind of offense that he committed?
It is, first of all, it is very, very bad for the FIFA to give that type of punishment for a person like Eto'o. And Eto'o have been very instrumental to the Cameroon sportists. He is one of the Cameroonians that love this country with all his heart, love the sporting event, the sporting activity of this country, want them to go to the highest level. You can't remember that Eto'o, you can't remember, I think was it 2090 or 2094 when the minister took money to go and get a plane on the air, and the plane it get missing, and they have to say that they missing of the plane. That's what most of the ministers have been busy doing, lodging and taking money that belongs to players. And that's why they are fighting Eto'o like this. But you see, Eto'o has always been there, even when before he retired from Fecafoot or from football. He has always been there for the players. He has always been a source of encouragement to the players. And his personality as a legend is very vital for the team. You understand? I can't remember one time he went to one, I think it was the Lions Den. He has been moving from one place to another to encourage the team, which is very important. And some of these our politicians, you don't see them doing that. They are all in the office. Maybe they want to go there. They are only looking what they will give them. What we call a bon de sortie, where they will give the extra money. That's what they're busy doing. But this is a person model from his heart. I don't believe that sometimes is wrong with his own personal money. They look at the state coffers. But sometimes those people who are like trying to fight him because of his enthusiasm, because of his love, his commitment for the football of Cameroon, they can go a whole length, even to push Fecafoot to do FIFA to do that. We don't know. because they used to say, nothing is impossible in Cameroon. They can put because they can learn people who are around this thing to push them to do that. I know what our own country can do.
All right, we have a lot of viewers who have been following up the news and the exchange here on the political desk and decide to jump in with their own little cent. Let us see what you viewers have got to say. And in case we take time out in reading your reaction, then we want to say kudos. Thank you for being a part and parcel of this political program. And in case we do not have the time to read yours, then of course we are going to be carrying it forward, and know that we love you so much and thank you for being a part of matters every day. This one says, please, what's the reason for the suspension? This is from Patience Eric. Maliva Mbanda says, FIFA should be ashamed of itself. Nonsense organization self. That should be from a Cameroonian. This one says, Ngwamba, even though I'm not his fan, but the sanction is too severe. I think they can appeal the sanction. I've always advised Africans to boycott this FIFA competition, but no, Africa keeps begging to be part of the games. Africa aren't realizing unfair favoring in the world of or international games. We should quit the so-called international games and focus or boost African Cup of Nations to be recognized internationally. Okay? Martin Com says, that's nothing. How many matches they during these 6 months? All right. But we are looking at integrity here. Njinji Vicky says, challenges are for promotion. It is working for his good. Okay. I can see there that should be a very firm supporter of Samuel Etofi's. Doctor, you have to be taking notes because anyone that captures your interest, maybe you want to talk on it. Samson Njumban says, it is normal for FIFA to sanction people. Humans are prone and liable to mistakes. But what is a bit worrying is the fact that people think Etofis cannot make a mistake or cannot be sanctioned. He is neither the first nor the last to be sanctioned. Okay. I think Eto's popularity and greatness will quadruple after this suspension. FIFA just made him a hero. All right. Rollins says, I'm writing for Maningo. Why nobody is saying what he did before suspension? No problem. We know he has an attitude problem. He can't stand to see injustice. All right. From Rollins. Mini says, I'm writing from Bukwai. This is a good program, Mabel. Thank you, Mini. 6 months go soon past. Time defense overrun these days. All right. His presence in these events pour up the youth to nostalgia, and the system doesn't like it. It's collusion to reduce his popularity and silence him so that he doesn't inspire a political dream. Okay. Thank you so much. This one says, I decide to keep myself anonymous. Thank you. Whether anonymous or not, thank you for following the program. No doubt the ministry was very friendly. Fear your enemy when they start smiling and trying to come close. No one should tell me anything, cause when I go say na FIFA and that pa no get nothing for do. Any man we talk so no understand the meaning of village people. Well, I'm still trying to get, but thank you, however. Doctor, are you following?
I'm following.
Japheth says, hello, Mabel. Good program and good evening to Doctor. If there is anyone to be banned in the match played by the final under-20 Lioness versus the Brazilian team of the same category, it should be the referee. Why are they turning things around? Is FIFA from Brazil? All right. This one says, let him take this 6 months and enjoy too with his family. To me, this 6 months is for him to rest. The man has gone through a lot of stress. Is a 6 months ban also encompassing his job as FIFA boss or as FECAFOOT boss?
I don't think so, because FIFA cannot ban him as a FECAFOOT boss. But maybe the ban is just for activities that is in line with FIFA. But maybe as I earlier said, there's corruption everywhere. You see, even United Nations, you see Africa have been sidelined, even the prominent executive member Africa not there. So it is not something new that even internationally, because some of us really feel that white man is too upright, white man is too fair. White man is one of the most corrupt people. If you want to tell me, I will tell you that white are the most corrupt people. If you want to know, we are suffering in Africa because of them. and they are still there struggling by all means. We thank God that people like Shari are coming up to break up the hills, the dreams, so that I enjoy his speech in the United Nations. He said that the aspiration of the people of Burkina Faso to make sure that they stand as a nation, defend themselves, and enjoy their culture is very enormous, that nobody can change that. And now in Burkina Faso, now they are using school now to use local fabrics of their own fabrication, because they want to promote local industry and companies, so that that's good for the country. And that's what we expect Africans to be busy doing, not busy thinking that white man will come and give everything. What they are talking for us is that they should make their country more better, so they'll be running there every day. That every day see people running American lottery, running their beaches, this one. Why are we going to Europe? Go and do what? Go and see buildings and streets. We have to also make our own African leader become jealous. So I don't see a reason why we don't want to support our own when it comes to bias and and injustice from institutions like the FIFA. It is no more a news to me.
Okay.
You have watched that even in various matches, you will see that they have that of characteristics, projected in the circle that they have put together.
All right. Please, if I didn't get this name rightly, then you have to pardon me. My name is Mbenzeka Ngamanju Estemi. I'm sorry, but Mbenzeka Ngamaju is going to do. Dr. Christian is one of the few Cameroonians who has brains. I like this guy. Bring him often. All right, if his schedule is going to permit. Thank you so much, Mbenzeka Ngamanju. All right, this one says, my name is Jures. Eto'o is again a victim of injustice from those who claim to be fair. Wasn't Cameroon cheated in the match against Brazil? Since when has outright complaint on an injustice been a synonym of bad conduct? I always say Africa should leave the UN, FIFA, etc., which are the sledgehammers of a greedy, dubious, and double-standard West. But 6 months will come to pass, and I know you don't fight Greece and win. Hello, doctor, and good evening from Jirel. Okay, thank you, Mr. Jires. Mabel, please, the headline wasn't very explicit enough. The audience isn't getting where the misconduct came from. That was during the match between Brazil and Cameroon female team. Well, if you were following the program, then you would have gotten. But before we wrap up the program, then I'm going to throw more light. Again, thank you, Mimi, for following. That ear that refused to listen will follow the head when the neck is cut off. Eto'o, you be over to do. I beg rest. Onana is doing well in Man U, and McBride is catching well in Cameroon national team. Power to the minister. All right. Okay, it should be noted that the information was given incompletely. In fact, for those who followed the Under-20 Women's World Cup, the president of the federation supported our brave lioness. And during the competition, Cameroon fell victim to poor refereeing, especially during the Brazil versus Cameroon match, where the Italian referee blatantly favored the Brazilian team. The president of the Cameroon Football Federation, Mr. Samuel Eto'o, dissatisfied with this situation, expressed his displeasure about the refereeing. This is the reason behind the sanction, which FIFA considered a lack of fair play. I think I'm just going to take this because this is the highlight of the program tonight. It should be noted that the information was given incompletely by the sanction that came from FIFA. For those who followed up the Under-20 Women's World Cup, the president of the federation supported our brave lionesses, and during the competition, Cameroon fell victim of poor refereeing, especially during the Brazil versus Cameroon match, where the Italian referee blatantly favored the Brazilian team. The president of the Cameroonian Football Federation, Mr. Samuel Eto'o, dissatisfied with the situation, expressed his displeasure about the refereeing, and this is the reason behind the sanction, which FIFA considered a lack of fair play. Well, Doctor, just loosely taken from what Cameroonians are saying, would you rather say Cameroonians are applauding Eto'o or outrightly against him?
They should. Remember, as I earlier said, Eto'o is one of those Cameroonians love football, love Cameroonians to excel, love Cameroon, sport, to go to another high level. That I really admire his courage, and I have that skill of leadership that is always there, to make sure that things move well, promote, and inspire them to make sure that they have that courage to make sure they get victory. And the Europeans, they are always there also to fight back. You know that maybe if you look at even the Premier League and other leagues, you see that most African blacks and one from different countries, they are for a lot of racism. They for a lot of racism. People enchanting and insulting them, and still they have no option since they're looking for their money. That is the normal core of the European society. They're always there to, look at Africa. They are fighting to look at Africa as a second class. But Africa is just telling them that no matter how you are fighting, we are still remain who we are because God made us and we are superior. And we will still remain superior because I like myself, I'm an African, and anywhere I go to the world, I still love myself as an African, and nobody can make me to become a second class anywhere I find myself. Why should I? I'm a human being like any other person, have the blood, have the brain, have to go to school, do the same thing that other people do, and then have the house to live with my own family. What are you making me to feel inferior? Why? So I pray that no Cameroonian should do that, and that's why I say kudos to Eto'o, because Eto'o just want to make the wise that what you are doing, a wrong thing is a wrong, and I thank God that he was there to see it for himself, because whites and some European countries, they are used to doing that in Africa. They want to run Africa. They don't want Africa to emerge. They don't want Africa to succeed. They want that every institution in Africa should break down and listen to them and follow their instruction. And we are saying that no, it will not happen. And those Cameroonians and bodies also that they are helping them to do what they are doing. One also tell them that it's all about time. If you don't do the right thing soon, I said one time like that, there's a revolution is going to Africa, and nobody will stop it. And no matter what you are saying, we will not stop it. In all domains, both in politics, in football, in whatsoever, there's a revolution that's going on in Africa. And we are still believing that in 20 years, Africa will change. There will be a total blow of Africa.
Thank you so much. And of course, while we look forward to the emancipation of Africans and the political situation that is happening in Cameroon, especially within the two restive regions. We want to thank you so much, dear viewers, for following the program from the first talking point that we had. That was the diaspora commitment and vouching their support to the Cameroon government and making sure that they hunt down separatist fighters and separatist sponsors. A case in point of Dr. Lucas Ayabacho, and also we have just zoomed into the band of the Fecafoot president, that is Samuel Eto'o Fields. We want to thank you so much. There is always a sense of euphoria that accompanies every program, but we know that the viewers are there, you people are there watching and stuck to your screens. Well, we wish you all an amazing evening ahead. Do not forget that right next is the news with High TV's Larry Etengene, and the person who has given us quality images and sound is no other person than staff lady Claudine Etamfu. And we want to thank you all and see you some other time. Good night.